Hey friends, it's Donovan Hilton, Lord of Glencoe in Scotland, through Parriage Company Highland Titles. You know I'm building an international brand of promoting corporate brands in urban areas to increase their customer base and their community presence. And today we're going to talk about how to own the room. Not work the room, but how to own the room. Because if you properly work the room, you're going to indirectly own the room. And a lot of times you don't want to directly own the room because a lot of times less is more. You want to be there, but at the end of the day, sometimes out of sight, out of mind. And you're saying, well, Donovan, where are you going with this? But it's an art to relationship management, and it all works simultaneously. Art is something that's created and that kind of presents itself as it forms, where respectfully, and help me and put in the comments if I'm wrong, science could be more so of processes and steps once you kind of determine what's the best approach. And then you find innovative and more truthful concepts and steps. And once you find out that there's a higher truth, if you will, my perspective in a layman's term of what I would call science and art. But back to the art of working the room, owning the room, my apologies. So it's all about attitude. And I say that because I had to bring that in, and you have to feel that for yourself, or at least feel you giving the effort that you're going to give the attitude that you need to eventually own the room. If you don't bring that attitude or that mindset of owning the room, at least attempting, and you go into the room, people are going to recognize that, and it may not work to your advantage. The beautiful thing about that is all things work for good, meaning when you go in there and you actually don't have the mindset of working the room, but you're thinking you're doing it, or you're just not putting that mindset or that attitude behind it, you're still learning. You're still going to get better. You're still going to experience it and say, hey, you know what, it's not so bad. And you're going to get more comfortable. And becoming more comfortable with something, more knowledgeable, more used to something will help you become more confident in it as well. And as you grow in your confidence, you'll be able to actually show through your attitude, through your language, through the nonverbals, that you are someone needs to talk to, and that you are starting your way of owning the room. So first thing is mindset. First thing is attitude. Now, one of the biggest things I keep in mind when I'm going into an activity, especially when I was new to networking in the earlier times, I would always, and part of my networking is not only passing out business cards, receiving business cards, taking notes, and all that good stuff, but I also take pictures and I do video recording. And so sometimes I'm in some very unique situations. Here's a unique story. Some of my work goes into government relations. And again, how are you going to work with corporations, but then also go into urban areas? So you're building relationships, you're maintaining relationships, you're communicating. It's a lot that goes into it. And so in this particular time, it was government, it was more government related, and it was campaign season. And people don't talk about religion and politics, but I'm going to bring it up as a story as far as what my point is. And so I went to this civic activity, and it was for a particular party, and I went in with my camera. And during this time was a couple of years ago, and the climate at that time was not as unified as it needed to be, and there were certain things going on in the media. So here I am, and respectfully, I'm what you may call a person of color, and I was going into this particular activity where there wasn't a lot of people of color there, but I was invited. Good friends, I know a lot of people there, and it's skin color, but at the end of the day, I was the only one there. And at this particular time, I'm very much aware of my skin color and what people with my skin color at the time were doing with the cameras and portraying as far as PR. And so as I was going into this particular event activity, I had the camera rolling. I didn't want to stop the camera. And me being the only person of color there, we're just talking about owning the room. But sometimes you can be a part of the room because you stand out. And it's about how do you really use that? And so I kept the camera rolling, and people were just coming up to me saying, who are you? Why are you here? Where are you from? I kept the camera rolling. It was civic related. And so, it may bring some distaste, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about Owning the room, are we talking about owning the room of business relations, community relations, government relations, or at the end of the day, all relations? And that's what I want us to focus on. It doesn't matter the situation, how do you go in and own the room? And not because you're owning the room, but it's your character, it's your energy, it's what you're saying, it's what you're not saying, it's how you're helping people. So the point is, and I'll see if I can put the link to the video of me going through that process, and people coming to me and ask me these questions in which I was able to give my best answers. But by the end of the experience, I had a lot of new friends, a lot of new business cards, a lot of new just opportunities. And so that's one aspect of going into, my point is going into somewhere with the mindset of knowing, hey, you know what? Tomorrow's gonna come, an hour's gonna come, but the moment is now. And if I don't capture this moment, I'm not gonna get it back. And I'm gonna look back after the moment is over and say, dang, I should have won, because that's the moments that you need that's gonna take you to the next level. And we're talking about owning the room. We're talking about business development. That could be community engagement. That could be media relations. That could be government relations. That's what we're talking about here. And so at the end of the day, so that's one aspect of owning the room in regards to the civics and me going in there with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to get this footage. I didn't feel, and the thing is, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you feel like you're in danger. That's another thing. And I didn't feel like I was in danger. I just felt like I was going to get people's perspectives. And if you don't know how to handle people's perspectives, honor people's perspectives, and give feedback to where you can still maintain a relationship, sometimes things can go south. So that's why I want you to know the true art of how to actually get this done, because I've been in some very unique situations. I'll leave the link if I can so you can see how that works. But there's other times where I go in and I'll give you a story. I always give it out. I used to do it when I was 21 years old, easy. Going to clubs that were 21 and up. You know, I usually traditionally have a suit on. It's the image that I'm looking to portray. Branding is another conversation, but I will go to these clubs, walk in the club with my suit on and just walk around the club once or twice. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Good, you having a good time? You know, doing all these different things, just greeting. And after my second lap, third lap maybe, and I'm doing my thing, people will come up to me and asking, hey, you know, can you get me into VIP, or where's the bathroom, or are you guys hiring? Oh, I thought you worked here. I thought you owned the place. You know everybody. And so even, I'm just giving you situations as to how you can own the room by working the room, and how you take advantage of the moment by exerting yourself. And there should be a link to my free 5-step checklist on how to build working relationships from scratch for your professional needs, as well as a link that 5-step checklist will direct you to another link that will give you the option to check out my free 35-minute webinar, in which I break down in detail the 5-step checklist and the actual video and training of what to do, of how to build a working relationship from scratch. As if you woke up out of the bed and you said, I want to start building relationships for my professional need, to a point where you have so many relationships that you have to get a customer relationship management system in order to manage these relationships and follow up and keep up with everyone. But the point to what I'm saying is, in that training video, there's a part that says less is more. And bringing it back to working the room, you can put yourself in a position by being someone that looks like they own the room without even having to do too much talking, based upon you being the elephant in the room, or whatever that terminology is, or based upon you going out and engaging folks. I haven't even started talking about you intentionally going in and saying, hello, I'm just gonna say it that way, hello, my name is such and such. That's a whole nother form. So you have the direct, you have the indirect way of owning the room that you can attract. You have a direct way that you can own the room, in which you're gonna put some work in to have things, to push things, to make things happen. And there's an art to making that happen. So I'll leave it there. There's a link if you wanna learn more. Click the link to join my email list so I can make sure I'm sending you free tips, free advice. There's also a link in there for you to check out my private advising sessions, in which we can talk about marketing and customer service. And I also provide a membership plan where we can work together monthly to increase what you're looking to do. See you soon.